Hello guys, hope you're all well. Today's video guys is Diablo 4 FPS setting, how to make your computer optimized to run Diablo 4 with as much frames as possible. If you press Ctrl R guys, then you get your FPS counter down here. Now I've got quite a good computer and I normally get around about 170 to even up to 240 FPS depending where I am. In town it's normally about 170 to maybe 200 depending on the players in there and all that. But obviously the higher FPS you have in game guys, the smoother the experience is going to be. Now Diablo 4, even in this beta kind, is very well optimized. It even runs on donkey PCs really well, okay? But there is some settings in Windows that are very easy to change. If you've got an nvidia graphics card guys, they can make this much faster for you. Okay, so let me tab out my PC. Let's go to our desktop. And we'll come over to here guys. Okay, so what you gotta do is right click your desktop, okay, and then hit on NVIDIA control panel. This is for NVIDIA graphics cards, guys. It might be similar for AMD ones, I'm not too sure, but this is for NVIDIA cards, okay? Well, guys, they come over here to NVIDIA control panel, okay? Now, bring up display and click on change resolution, okay? And it brings it up here. Click on your main monitor. Now, for me, Elgato is my capture card for my streaming stuff, so it's not, I know it's not that one. It's going to be your main monitor. Okay, click on this one. Right, okay, so sometimes when you get a brand new PC, guys, or it's not configured, it might be selecting the resolution up here on Ultra, HD, and SD. It might have this ticked, and this is completely wrong. Sometimes when you get a brand new PC, this will be selected by default. And what this is, it's the wrong resolution. You're not going to get as much speed in your computer or your video games at all, okay? So what you got to do is just make sure that under the PC tab right here, this one here, that you have your correct resolution selected for your monitor, okay? So I'm using a 1440p monitor, and I know it says right to it next to it native, okay? If it says native, then you know that's a resolution that your monitor runs at, okay? So click on native. Now the next step is click on the refresh rate, okay? Now I have a 240 refresh rate monitor, okay? So I'll get up to 240 frames per second if my graphic card is strong enough, and if my CPU is strong enough. I do have a good CPU and GPU. I have an i9-10100K CPU and a 3080 Ti graphics card, so they're quite meaty things. It runs the game really well. But on most of the time, guys, this will be set to 60 Hertz. Okay, if this is set to 60 Hertz, you're losing all your speed on your computer. All your speed on your computer. Always put it on the highest number. Okay. Now you can have this high number if your monitor supports this. Okay. If you're using a really old monitor, you've probably got 60 Hertz. You still run Diablo fine on it, to be honest, if you're using virtual sync, so that way you don't get no tearing on screen. We'll go over that in a sec. But always select the highest number, though, okay, if you can. And that will help out massively. Hit apply. Keep these changes. Yes, of course. Lovely. And next thing you guys want to go over to is go up here to Manage 3D Settings, okay? Click on this. You get this little window here, okay? Now, GeForce Experience, guys, a lot of us use to download our drivers for our video cards, this program here. When you first boot it, sometimes it auto-optimizes your computer for the best graphics experience possible. And guess what it does? It mucks up all your settings. And the main setting that it mucks up is this particular one here. Just scroll down to DSR factor, Dynamic Scale Resolution Factors, okay? Now what this setting does, which this program turns on automatically most of the time, it increases your resolution of your graphics on your monitor to make it look more sharper. But the problem is, though, when it does this, it slows down your PC massively. Like, it really slows it down. You get input latencies where you're clicking on the screen and things are going really slow. And most of the time, it might have 2x or 4x tick like this. If this is like this, guys, just click on it and just untick it. Just untick it, press OK until it says off. Hit apply, and now your PC will now run Diablo 4 and any other game much faster, like much faster. Okay, you'll probably have to reboot the game to make sure it gets the effect. Go back to your game, guys, then press Ctrl R and see what your FPS is. And right now, I'm sitting at 180 FPS right now. But I am running this on Ultra with a very good PC. Well, I'll say a fairly good PC compared to today's standards, yeah. And it runs really nice, you know, in combat, in main player town. Let me quickly go to main player town, Cravash, where it's really busy. Just put import over it. And it runs much better. Okay, so that particular setting I just showed you, it will work on everything, not just Diablo 4, but everything you play on your computer. It's a really, really good thing to know if you've got an NVIDIA graphics card. Okay. Oh, I couldn't actually port those, bugged that a little bit, but you get the idea, yeah? Then guys, go into options. Okay, go to graphics tab. You always, always, always want to play in full screen. If you're not playing in full screen, you will lose FPS. The higher FPS, the faster the game's going to run. Make sure you have the right graphics driver, guys, connected as well. Monster 308 Ti. Monitor, it's just going to be monitor 1 for your main display. Resolution, exact same resolution we selected on display properties editor on NVIDIA control panel. So don't always use your native resolution for your monitor. Otherwise, it starts stretching and skewing. It just won't look right. Refresh rate, 240 Hz now. We can select 240 because we set it correctly on the display tab, okay? And this bit stuff, guys, don't worry. If you want to get more FPS, guys, you can turn off virtual sync. Now, if you've got a 60 Hz monitor, and you say you've got a really meaty GPU and CPU, and you can go much, much higher, you can turn off virtual sync. If you turn off virtual sync, you can go higher than your monitor refresh rate, but you might get tearing lines across your screen in high motion scenes. So if you're getting loads of tearing and all that, turn on virtual sync and get yourself a high refresh rate monitor in the future, yeah? Lovely. Then guys, over here, resolution percentage, yeah? Always leave this on 100, okay? Now if you turn it up, it's a bit like DSR, but we just turn it off in the settings. So make sure you just leave this on 100%. Not 99, not 101, bang on 100. That'd be much better, much better. Okay, now another thing, guys, if your graphics card can support it, you can use something called DLSS. Okay, so what this does, it can turn down some of your graphics automatically in game for more FPS, basically. Okay, so if I turn this on now, and we put it on ultra performance, save changes, close, and now I'm now getting 234 FPS now, but my image quality has gone down a little bit. It's a little bit more blurry now, etc, etc. If your graphics card can support that, then you can pop that on for even more FPS. And now the game's running like even super slick now, super slick. Feels really, really nice. Okay, so you can do that as well. But like I said, if you've got a really nice PC, turn that off, because that way you can have clarity instead. Look how sharp it is now. Look, it looks extra sexy. Yeah. Nice. Okay, guys. So I'm using a 240 Hz monitor. So make sure your maximum foreground FPS is on 240. Maximum background FPS, just leave it at 60. Okay. Now I've got a custom thing on. I've got quite a good PC, guys. But rule of thumb in pretty much every game I play, no matter how good my frames I'm getting, is I always turn shadows down to medium to low. Shadow quality always slows down your games, guys, so much, man. Especially dynamic shadows and soft shadows. Okay, so if we turn these off and put this on low, we're going to get a really nice performance boost. There we go, and we're up to 195 now, 192, and it's running really, really nice. Okay, so muck around with your shadow options. Okay, but like I said, I've got quite a nice PC, so I'd like to keep these on because, you know, I've got the must tool on this particular PC. Okay, so like I said, yeah, Diablo 4 is very well optimized. It does run on really bad PCs really well, which is great. You know, which is great. I really love that. So just have a little mess around with it, especially with the shadow options, guys. Just see if it works. Otherwise, you can just do one of their main presets and just pop it onto medium or even to low if you've got a really old PC, you know, and just change it over. And so it's just quality here, so you can just change it from here to like medium to low. Try it out, but like I said, to bring up the FPS counter in game, it's just Control R. Press Control R once it pops up, and just muck around till you get the right FPS that you want. Okay, but like I said, you know, shadows, dynamic shadows, and this slider bar here, these are going to be some of the main combos for a lot of your FPS. Okay, lovely, lovely. There you go, guys. Go check it out and let me know how you get on. Thanks very much for watching. Enjoy the guide. Subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, man. Take care. Just have a little bit.
Hello.
Hello.